I feel Chiron is helping me every day because he helps me that energy to reflect on the things that I've done already, how not to repeat the same circumstances and situations where I will be hurt again. It's like that mountain thing where you're going around the mountain, and he's saying, his energy is saying, if you learn from this, then the wounds will begin to heal at a level where you can live a happier life because you won't repeat the same things. So Chiron, not that I look at my chart every day, becomes a focus of looking at people because, my God, the people, the people all around us are wounded. And because they're wounded, sometimes you are not just there to be a part of their life, but you're there to show that the wounds can heal. God uses us, And so when I found that there were circumstances, it looked different because things come in and they look different. But you got to be able to, it's like consciously pinpoint something is coming around and it's trying to make me compromise myself again in whatever fashion it is. Because there's a ding. It's like an alarm that's going off and saying, oh, that's funny and that might be fun, but my mind is like that. I have a philosophical mind. And that's why, teaching is so, every conversation, Honora and Solana used to say, turn into teaching. But it's because my mind is always thinking in the teacher mode, even if I go out and party. Because my awareness, I feel like it's safe. My awareness needs to keep me out of trouble. The troubles could take me back to where I came from. So when you're looking at people, Chiron is going to sometimes, I think, designate somebody that helped you to realize you had some really, really stuck wound energy and that needs to heal. And that's when they become, some of your greatest fans in your mindset because they were a part of your realizing that you were wounded, such as them being a part of sticking the dagger in again. And if it was a dagger, if it was a word, whatever it is, it's still coming with like a dagger, a bullet. It's something that hits you and it can knock you off your feet. That's a Chiron wounding that needs to be looked at. And when the person can get up and really look at it, if they looked at the person that shot it, shot the dagger or the wound, the gun, however, just emphasizing that it's a very tough wound that it rocks your body and your mind and your soul. The person that gives that type of blow is somebody that could get your attention. That means that there's an energy in them possibly that meets that same Chiron wounding. But the thing is that they get your attention. So how does the philosophy come in and religion come in and spirituality? There's a practice to shift the energy of the wounding, and there's the practice to heal the part of the wounding that can be healed, because some of it is never going to be healed. Like with Chiron, that reminds me of Paul. He said, I always got a prick in my side or something in his side. It was always there to remind him. And was it reminding him of all of the Christians that he persecuted? Was it his mind? Was that prick in his heart, or was it in his side like Jesus, was it his foot? Where was it? And you can find out where it is if you go deeper. But for Paul, it brings us back to the place that Paul is reminded daily. And And the reminding daily, you can balance your life by being reminded that someone hurt you and it was very deep, and you hurt someone and it was very deep, and you want to heal that. That's a good reminder not to hurt someone and allow yourself to be hurt every day. It's not about anger or bitterness. It's about transforming that power so that it is powerless, and you and your new energy is powerful. Because the enemy in the energy of ourselves and people, it allows you to keep getting trapped. It's up to us to walk over the traps. And that's a unconscious thing. It's spiritual as well. Because one of the things that I remember is growing up, and let's say, for instance, we're in relationships. That's the biggest part. God wants healthy relationships in earth. But people can't have a healthy relationship until they realize that they have been wounded. They get into relationships before they realize that they've been wounded. Their unhappiness is not always in the relationship. It's coming, in most cases, 80% of the issues is coming from childhood. So you had a lot of people working at inner child healing over 30 years ago, and no one wanted to accept it. The churches don't want to accept it. On and on. And that's fine. But Aquarian energy comes in and says, listen, this is an individual process when it comes to your healing. It's individual when you have children. It's individual when you choose a mate. It's individual. And then let's heal this, he says. And then when you heal this, then we can go out into the community and help others. Well, let's go back to the individual. Individual, it don't matter if you didn't know what you were supposed to do, having a family, being married, or just being married and you all haven't had children yet. What matters is that you learn how to treat your husband and your wife. That's wholeness. Now you can go have a child. But we having children, getting married, yeah, that's right. Having children, getting married, and then thinking that's life forevermore. My forever life. That ain't no forever life when you ain't healed nothing. First of all, you had children, and then you got married. Now, I'm not telling anybody that they have to do any of the difference. But you had children, so 90% of the people, to me, they get married or have, they're in relationships because of lust. They're not in relationships because of family, order, and matters. They went to bed before they even made a commitment. They ain't got to get married down at the Justice of the Peace. But they got married because of a feeling that does not stay. It don't stay. You can have, orgasms all day long. It's going to get old. What don't get old is a different face and a different body. That's just one way to look at it. And some people, they don't look at those things. Well, I feel like you got to look at it all. Does it mean that we're going to compete with? No, we're not. That means that there's some people that can be disciplined to stay at home and some that will never be disciplined. And that has to do with Sagittarius energy. It has to do with Chiron's wounding because it's a fire sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. And that means that it'll go and do things before it thinks about it. The energy, the element, fire burns. It don't have no thought. Fire, it burns. Chiron is in Aries. I think it's going to be going into Taurus in a year or two. But it's in Aries. And because it's in Aries, the wounding could become perpetual to burn things down rather than heal. And that's why you've had people that had insurmountable arguments that cause tragedies or the conflicts out in the streets where all these people are being killed because that Aries energy with Chiron is unhealed, is propelling anger. When you are upset, you get angry. And if you don't know how to control it, no discipline, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just discipline anger. If you discipline your sexual organs, you're going to discipline, you'll be able to discipline anger and everything else. Because your sexual organs are at the foundation, the base of your body. So Chiron has a lot to do with the woundings within our body, mind, and spirit that has to do with feminine energy needing to be balanced in male and female. It's a yin and yang thing.